Hi, my name is Carrie Jackson. I'm here today as a part of my Psychology at Work assignment for College for America. I wanted to talk to you today about a couple of things. The first being two videos that I watched. I recently had a chance to watch the video for The Secret, which is a positive self-help program designed kind of around the power of positive thinking and how that can positively affect your life. The other was a TED Talk by Dr. Martin Seligman, and his topic was really more about positive psychology as a science and where psychology was, where it is now, and where he thinks it's going in the future. And then right before I close up, we'll talk a little bit about stress and my personal experiences with stress. So the first video that I watched again was The Secret. I found that this video was not particularly scientifically presented. My first kind of peeve about it immediately after I started was that the speaker never identified herself. She not only never even gave her name, but she didn't talk about her credentials or research that she had done into this topic, anything like that. Where Dr. Seligman, of course, as soon as he came on stage, his name and credentials were listed on the screen, and then he talked and introduced himself, and that he was a psychologist, that he'd worked in the field for a number of years, that he had some experience with this topic. Again, The Secret, being the first video that I watched, did not kind of live up to its scientific claim. The producers of the video appeared to spend a lot of time and money on making this seem like a well-acknowledged secret, something that everybody knew. And I think they did that to kind of move away from the idea that people would want proof. They tried to, use mystical music and some mystery to make it seem like this was something that has always existed, that has always been around, and somebody's recently discovered it, rather than a scientific theory that needs honest-to-goodness proof. Again, I didn't find it scientifically sound because they did not give any real evidence. They had experts in their field talking on the topic, but they didn't provide any evidence. They didn't reference a study. They really did nothing to support their claim that the power of positive thought will enrich your life. In addition to that, they actually used some very poor science. They at one point cited a study where they discovered that they could measure dreams, that they could, in a sleep study, monitor a sleeping person and discover when they were dreaming. Unfortunately, they then used that statement to support the notion that if this person were dreaming about positive things, those positive things would come to him. So they kind of started off on this scientific foot, and then they worked it to suit the purpose of their video. Lastly, they offered no scientific evidence whatsoever. Everything that they said, every speaker that they used, really all of their graphics, everything was anecdotal evidence at best. And to be completely honest with you, I would assume that much of it was just plain made up. So again, I didn't find The Secret video particularly scientifically based. On the other side, Dr. Martin Seligman's video, he again identified himself. He used verifiable information. He cited, studies that had happened in the past, things that I could go and check, that the average listener could go and check on. He refers to other experts in his field. He didn't make false scientific claims. The premise of his video was discussing, again, where psychology is and how psychology has moved from helping miserable people be less miserable, I believe were his exact words, to positive psychology, which in the future hopefully will focus on making the average person more happy through the power of intervention, things like this, where they can teach coping skills, teach people to just find more engagement in their day-to-day lives by interacting with others, by belonging to a higher, serving a higher purpose, things like this. The future, I believe that he said where he thought psychology was going was to help geniuses really psychologically function, maybe help them manage stress more so that their gift or their God-given talent is utilized in a better way that will help the entire world by helping these people use psychology to enrich their lives and take advantage of their gifts. On the topic of stress, I wanted to talk briefly about my own history with stress and how it has affected my life. I would say that I have two wonderful examples of a time that I was under stress. One time I handled it extremely poorly. I was ill-equipped for it. And then currently, I think I handle it the same situation in a much better, healthier, more positive manner. The first is in my industry. I run a blood plasma collection center, and we're audited very, very regularly. A couple times a year, we'll have people coming in to check on us. They're compliance auditors. They're making sure that we're meeting our regulatory requirements. When I was brand new to the business, I was a quality associate in a plasma collection center that unfortunately had some compliance problems, and I was promoted into that position to kind of remediate their audit. We got through that just fine. Everything turned out wonderfully. We were able to, stay in business. We met our promises to the FDA. And then the following year, they came back to audit us again, which, again, they do it every year. And I'll never forget it. I was at home and I was with my husband, and they called me and said, the FDA is here. And I was absolutely terrified. I was completely unprepared for the stress of hosting an FDA audit. I started shaking. I became super aware of anything that may have been a problem for the FDA in the entire year since I had seen them. Again, my hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. I was panting a little bit. I was terrified, just scared to death. And I really didn't have a positive way to handle that stress. We did get through the audit. Everything turned out wonderfully, but it was a horrible experience for me just because I was so amped up about it. On the other side of that, again, I've been in the business a number of years, and we are still auditing regularly, just like we always have. Now, though, when those compliance audits come up, it's much easier for me to handle it. I don't get to have the shaking hands. I don't have the rapid heartbeat. I don't feel like I'm on the verge of tears or cope poorly with the stress that it puts me under, even though it is stressful every year, because I have positive tools that will help me handle that stress. I have a very solid peer group that I can talk to about, what's going on with my audit. My husband, of course, is a wonderful support. In addition to that, I know now to step back if I feel like I'm losing control. Step back, take a deep breath, kind of refocus myself, pay attention to the positive things that are happening in my audit. And lastly, the thing that I learned that I think helps me the best is to just remember that they want the same thing that I want. They're just there to make sure that we're getting it. We all want a healthy, safe product, and that's what we're after. So again, I just wanted to talk to you guys about the videos that I watched and about my own experience managing stress. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.